Welcome back to Frugal Days with Danina. It is a beautiful day, so I am sitting outside on my porch to welcome you back to my channel. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, I ask that you would subscribe and hit that like button. It's free. One of the most frugal things you can do is join a YouTube channel. No cost to you, lots of things to learn and discuss or just be entertained by. I have lots of frugal channels that I follow that I just enjoy. It's just relaxing to watch the folks that do their own channel about frugality. I love to get little hints and tips from them. And the ones that I've been watching the longest just sort of feel like old friends by now, even though I've never met them in my life. So if you enjoy this video and like what you hear, I hope that you will subscribe. It is mid-February, so I'm kind of doing a mid-month check-in. We're coming up on Valentine's Day soon, and the weather is unseasonably warm. Supposedly, it's going to get up to 80 or near 80 today where I live. I live in Oklahoma, so we have crazy extremes of weather. Not too long ago, we had snow and below zero wind chill temps, and now we're having what feels like early summer weather. I'm sure that will all change before we know it, but for today I'm trying to take advantage of it. I'm going to get outside in my yard and do a few things, clean up some areas, and try to get some seeds started that I will hope to continue growing throughout the spring and summer. I wanted to kind of touch base with you about my other goals. I know I talked about what books I finished in January. If you watched that video, I told you that I actually reread a children's literature book by Laura Ingalls Wilder called The Long Winter, so I decided to read another one of hers this month. I also just started a book called Anxious People, really enjoying that one. I belong to a book club, and the host for our book club this month chose a book called The Last Night We Saw Him. Nope, sorry, wrong title. The Night We Lost Him, called The Night We Lost Him, and that's what I'm going to listen to as an audio book and to be ready for book club at the end of this month. The Night We Lost Him, and I think the author's name is Laura Dave of that one, I believe. If that's incorrect, I'll let you know, but I think that's it. And then, of course, I'm also reading a couple of other things on my Kindle. I'm still reading The Nightingale, but this past weekend, David was able to put some of the Lillian Jackson Braun cat books on my Kindle for me. So I have switched over from an eyeball book to my Kindle for that one. And I'm about halfway through the first one, The Cat That Read Backwards. Those are a pretty quick read. They're small books and a pretty quick read. And then I'm also reading a book called The Year of Living Danishly. Finland is supposedly one of the happiest places to live on earth. And I'm reading a book about a couple who moved there and lived. So I just got started with that one. I'm excited about reading all of those this month, and I will let you know at the end of the month if I made progress. I went out to the lake today and did a walk. I did a small walk at my dad's, and then the walk at the lake was the second one. And I am going to show you in this video some projects I'm working on, and also some planting that I'm getting ready to start doing to get ready for spring and summer. I also visited with you on my last video and updated you about the Ibotta app that I've started. I haven't found anything else on the Ibotta app to use this month so far. Like I mentioned on my previous video, it forces you to choose certain products ahead of time before you go shopping and then scan your receipt when you get home. And I don't buy things willy-nilly, so I haven't seen anything on there that I needed. But I have scanned lots of receipts on my Fetch app, which I much prefer because I can literally scan any receipt and get at least a minimum amount of points for the things I need and use every single day. David also saves his receipts for me so that I can scan his as well, because he does not participate on the Fetch app. So that helps me out a lot. And I'm also going to be getting in the kitchen in a few minutes and heating up my lunch. Another frugal thing that I do, and I think I've mentioned before regarding food, when I do eat in a restaurant, which isn't a lot, but when I do, I tend to order an entree that I can make into more than one meal. So while we were there, David and I went to Olive Garden, and while we were there, I ordered the lunch portion of shrimp scampi, one of my favorites. Lunch portion's a little bit smaller portion than a regular portion, but still enough that I could eat that, split that into 2 meals. So I got to eat that twice. Then they also have a deal on the menu where you can get an order to go. There's only like 4 things I think you can choose from, but you can get an order to go for an additional $6 as long as you've bought an entree. So David and I usually do that as well. Well, that is a really big portion, and usually I can get 3 meals out of that. So for the entree I had in the restaurant, I got 2 meals, and for the one I brought home, I'll get 3. So 5 meals that I can get out of those 2 portions that were served at the restaurant. And I typically do that if I'm at a restaurant. I try to order something that I really like, but that will have leftovers that I can take home with me. I don't visit restaurants very often unless I'm with David or with friends. I rarely, very rarely go to a restaurant by myself. But typically David and I do go to at least one restaurant during the weekend while we are together. And that's what we did this past weekend when we were at Olive Garden. Do you visit restaurants often? Is eating out a big part of your life? What kind of weather are you having where you are? I would be interested to hear. Just add a thought in the comments, if you would, about restaurants, eating out, what's your weather like, what projects are you working on, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Welcome. This is Frugal Days with Danina. All right, I am out on my front porch, and here are 2 little tiny sad plants that I have managed to save from last summer by taking care of them through last fall and the above freezing days that we've had this winter, and then taking them indoors when the temperatures were going to drop below freezing. They look very bedraggled. Is that a word, bedraggled? Anyway, they don't look so good. Worse for wear, I guess, is what I should say. But they're still alive. I'm still hoping I can perk them up and use them again for the coming spring. I also tried to save this basil plant, but it ended up finally just drying up. It lasted a really long time though, so I'm glad about that. So I will have to get some more basil, but today I'm going to work on putting my sunflowers seeds and my zinnias in little planting cups and get those started. I have a little rolling cart that I'm going to put them in like a mini greenhouse, and that way I can roll it outside on warm days and back inside if we have another bout of cold weather. Good morning. I am walking out at the lake today. Look at that sky. It is absolutely beautiful. It's a warm day. It's probably going to warm up a little bit more than I wished it would. Look at that blue. So pretty. The water's so pretty today. I am out walking this morning. I've gone to town and ran errands this morning. Went and got a pedicure. That is one of the things I budget for, one of the things I splurge for. I used to, many years ago, I also used to get my nails done. Now I don't do that. I haven't done that for a long time. But I do feel like getting my toes done once a month is worth the splurge. It's something I could, of course, cut back on should the need arise, but for now I'm able to budget for it, and the enjoyment of it is well worth the cost to me. Listen to the birds. Such a pretty day. When I get home, I'm gonna put some seeds in pots and get those started. It's mid-February, almost Valentine's Day. We're having unseasonably warm weather. I'm sure we'll have more cold before the month is out, but for now, it is a great time to get a little mini greenhouse going that I can roll in and out based on the temperature of what it is outdoors, and let some seeds get started. Hope you're enjoying your day. I am showing you a little treasure I got at a thrift store, actually an antique store, this weekend when David and I went shopping. I got this quilt for $20. It's got names on it, which I don't mind at all. It's beautiful. It has a little bit of damage right here on some of the squares, but for $20, I think I can fix that. And I went and picked up some fabric today. It's not the same fabric, of course, but it goes with the rest of the quilt, and I think I can fix those patches. But it's just beautiful, and I just have a soft spot in my heart when we are shopping and I see things that someone spent so much time and love and effort on, especially when they're personalized like this one with some names. Someone spent time on this, and it meant something to someone at one point. So I want to try to repair it and use it. I've also been working on my Valentine puzzle. This was a gift last year that David got me because I love to do puzzles, and this one has retro Valentines on it, so I'll show you that when I finish it. So I picked up this swatch of material. I also picked up some seeds. I had really good luck with zinnias last year where I live because we get such hot summers, and sunflowers. And then I usually just repurpose empty containers that I already have, but I wanted to try these this year, these little empty pots, and see if I can get my seeds started in those. So then just also picked up a little tiny sewing kit just because I think the needles I have for my embroidery might be too big. So I got this little sewing kit as well that has different size needles in it and some regular thread instead of embroidery thread. And that is another project that I'm going to be working on. So I spent about about $10 at Walmart for some swatch and some other needles and thread, and then $20. So for $30, I'm going to be able to make this beautiful quilt back to almost as good as new. It's so soft and I just love it. Do you ever find things like that at antique stores or thrift stores? And what kind of projects do you work on at home? Hope you're having a good day.